So how was it? How was the class till now? Anything which is confusing? Anything which is not clear? No? And where did we stop? Secondary succession is done. We were in the climax. Okay, notice 2 questions which is being asked just from the climax of ecological succession. It's not only 2. Even this was from this thing. This question 1, 2, 3, okay, and 4. There are 4 questions just from the topic ecological succession. So this topic is important. Okay. So at the heading part, just note down that 4 questions in PYQs from this chapter. So whenever you are revising, as I said, after 25-30 years, when you pick back your book and start revising, you will come to know that yes, there was a question from here. Okay. All right. Now we will go into the last part of ecological succession. With that, the thing is done. Okay. Now, climax. What is the meaning of climax? Movie nell, no? The climax. Okay. So the movie might end happily or tragically. Okay. Rajkumar Dada idiyala ಆಡಿಸಿ ನೋಡು ಬೀಳಿಸಿ ನೋಡು. ಪುಟ್ಟಣ್ಣ ಕಣಗಾಲ್ movies ಎಲ್ಲ it will be tragic ends. Okay. ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ, ಬಂಗಾರದ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ನೋಡಿದಿರಾ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ? ವೆರಿ ಲಾಂಗ್. ಈಗ ನಾನು ರಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಡೈಲಿ, ನಾನು ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಏನೆ. Okay, but I know that people go out from the theater crying. So climax is climax is the end part. Okay, so as I said, plant succession happens because of the improvement in the soil. Happens as there is improvement in the soil condition in particular and the entire environment in general. Yeah. Okay. So that is what is the climax. And when this thing happens, there is always be some kind of improvements which is happening. And once a condition arrives where the soil can no more be improved, it is the maximum state at which the soil can reach. ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನೇ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, according to the climatic conditions, according to rainfall, according to temperature, according to all those things. If that is the the final stage is reached, then the ecosystem or the ecology has reached the climax. Okay, so this is when a climax is reached. That community will reach a condition where it will be equilibrium with nature. It will come into equilibrium with the nature. Okay, so at that point of time, whatever the plant communities or different species are there in that community, that is the last. That is the last entry. No more several stages, no more introduction of a new species. Okay, no new species will be allowed into the community. And whatever the species is that, they'll rejuvenate, they regenerate, and their young ones will replace them, and they will continue to grow. And most of the ecosystems have reached the climax. Western Ghats alli, the forests which are present, that is the climax. They have reached the climax. No new species is introduced naturally unless humans bring it. We bring it in the name of exotic species. Okay, so we bring it in the name of alien species. There are different kinds of things. Native species is there, alien species are there. Native species, it has the natural origin in that place. Alien introduced species are the ones which are brought from some other location. It is introduced in a place where it's not its geographical origin. Okay, so our alien species, some of them might turn into invasive and some of them won't turn into invasive. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಕೆಲವು ಏಲಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? Some species which has been introduced from outside. Huh? Cheetahs is, yeah, cheetahs are alien. African cheetah is an alien. Asiatic cheetah ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಇತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. It is reintroduction. Plants ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಪಾಯಿ ತಿಂದೀರಾ? Who brought this? It's not native to India. It was brought by Portuguese. Portuguese brought papaya. What is tomato, potato? ಯಾವುದು ನಮ್ದಲ್ಲ. Ours were lowly ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಂತಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಬಾಜ್ರಾ, ragi. Okay, rice is also from Indonesia. Which place? ಹೌದಾ? I thought ragi was originated here. Millets. Okay. So not just good crops, even some bad crops are introduced. Eucalyptus, Australia. Parthenium. Parthenium was supposed to be said to be introduced by US. ನಮ್ಮದು NCC ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಅಂತ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, NSS ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಸ್. ಇದೀರಾ ಯಾವಾಗಲಾರು? The only thing which we do in NSS camp is ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಖಾಲಿ ಜಮೀನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಥೇನಿಯಂ ಗಿಡ ಕೀಳೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒಂದು ಗಿಡ ಕಿತ್ತರೆ 100 ಗಿಡ ನಾವು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಂದಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ we don't know that we should not remove parthenium during the flowering stage. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಹೂ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೀಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೇ ಒಂದು 10 ಬೀಜಗಳು ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬೀಳ್ತವೆ. You are plucking one plant and you are planting 10 seeds, 100 seeds. Next time, your next batch of NSS will have 10 times more parthenium to pluck. So parthenium, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಗಿಡ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ? You are saying Congress is unnecessary weed. ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ unnecessary weed. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋದಮ್ಮ, ಜೋಪಾನ. Don't say it publicly. People would start coming and searching for who is that girl. I'll not tell your name, don't worry, on record. ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಟೈಮ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್. Actually ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಗಿಡ ಅಂತೀವಿ. We call it as Congress. Maybe because the Congress at that time was spreading like long, wide, everything. Okay, everybody was a member of Congress party. Maybe that's the reason. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Okay. So likewise, right, unless that is done, no naturally a plant is introduced, right? Right, that is when we call it has reached the climax. A forest may be a climax, most of the forest. A grassland may be Climax. Grassland, a lane soil condition is a stay at the maximum achieve. It will not improve because ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ grasslands ಇದಾವೋ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ the rainfall has been fixed. ಇಷ್ಟೇ rainfall ಬರಬೇಕು, ಇಷ್ಟು temperature ಇರುತ್ತೆ, and every year there will be fire incidences, grazing animals ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತವೆ. So because of these three reasons, grass and soil cannot improve above what is at present is there. ಈಗ ಅವಾಗ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರಾಸಸ್ ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದೇ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ವೈ ದ grasses do not replace the trees. Okay, what are these? Fire in grasslands may happen because of many reasons. Okay, there are two kinds of reasons for fire incidences. One is natural and anthropogenic, human. Natural fires basically are because of lightning, rolling of stones, and rubbing of like thick barks, dry barks, which is very unlikely to happen in grasslands. It happens in forests. That's why we call it as forest fire. And even in forest fires, natural fires happen less than 5%. In Western countries, the natural fires contribute around 30% of fires. Western countries, but India is less than 5%. India is 95 and above percent. Why fires happen is because of anthropogeny. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, intentional, accidental. Okay, so accidentally, like ಬೀಡಿ ಸಿಗರೇಟ್ ಸೇತ ಎಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, mainly grasslands are the place where the cattle herders take their cattle for grazing. Cattle ಏನೋ ತಿಂತಾ ಇರ್ತವೆ. What do these cattle herders do? ಮವಾಸಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ದನ ಮೇಯಿಸೋದು. Right? What do? ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಇದ್ರು ಕೊರಡುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. That's what they do, right? They used to do theft. Okay, ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಕದಿಯೋದು, ಅದು ಕದಿಯೋದು, ಇದು ಕದಿಯೋದು. All there are so many activities which Krishna and his friends used to do. ಇವಾಗ ಹೋದವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಬೀಡಿ ಸಿಗರೇಟ್ ಸೇರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಟೈಮ್ ಪಾಸ್. ಅವರು ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನದ ಹೊತ್ತವರೆಗೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಟ್ರಾವೆಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವು ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದೇ ಬರ್ನ್, ಸ್ಟಬಲ್ ಬರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೇಜರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನೌ ಡೇಸ್, ಸ್ಟಬಲ್ ಬರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್, ಹೈ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್, ಡ್ರೈ ಗ್ರಾಸಸ್ coupled with very high temperature, because ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ grasslands ಇರುತ್ತೆ, if you can find a particular pattern of climate, high temperature, low rainfall, and because of high temperature there will always be fires every season. Indiaದಲ್ಲಿ February to June is considered as the fire season. ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲೇ. Okay, can you guess the number of fire incidences in India ಈ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಬಹುದು? ಫೈರ್ ಅಲಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ದ ನಂಬರ್? ಗೆಸ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಲಾರ್ಮ್ ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ? ಎನಿ ನಂಬರ್? 60,000 to 80,000. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಂಕಾರಿ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ 3.0 ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಫೈರ್ ಅಲರ್ಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಡೆಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ satellite lens which is been just watching over India to alert the fire incidences. MODIS anta, MODIS. So ISRO dinda we have a dedicated satellite for that. MOFCC and there is a software which monitors. There is a dedicated center of excellence of forest fires in Forest Survey of India which is working towards forest fires. Okay, so grasslands ali these are the incidences. Okay, so what are the three major reasons? One is fire, low rainfall, and third is grazing animals. Okay. Climax yav climax can be even deserts. Climax can be coral reefs. All these are incidences are examples of thing. Desert alone, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಣ್ಣಿದೆ, that is the maximum nutrition or improvement which can happen. By chance, if the rain happens little more, ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ನೀರು. ಬೈ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಅದೇ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ತವೆ, and because of high rainfall the fire will also not happen. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, immediately the grasses will fall, add to the soil, decompose and improve the soil conditions. Instantly soil condition improve ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, the next category of plants will do the succession replacement. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸವನಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮರಗಳಿದಾವಲ್ಲ, what does it mean? ಆ ಮರಗಳು, that is the area where soil has improved and succession has happened. ನೆನ್ನೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ನೋಡಿದ್ರಾ? ಒಡಿಶಾಲ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಏನದು, what does you understand by this in this perspective? Confuse. They are completely in confusion whether I have to stay as a grassland or should I become forest. ಅರ್ಧಂಬರ್ಧ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅರ್ಧಂಬರ್ಧ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. That's what they are still in a confusion. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಳೆನೂ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, that is the environment which was grassland. Now they are trying to become a forest, but they are in somewhere transition. Complex ecosystem. Reason ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ? Because climax is grassland, but some places the soil nutrition is improving, so forest ಇದೆ, grassland ಇದೆ. That is the reason, right? So this is what is climax, and this is how it happens: lichens, mosses, shrubs and climax, and all these are examples of climax communities. Okay, so we have seen three kind of communities. One is the pioneer community. What are pioneer communities? Which starts the succession. Seral community. Okay, so in between. Climax community, the last community which occupies climax. Okay, so write down few notes on this. So climax. This is the last stage of ecological succession. Stop. If a succession is allowed to progress, if a succession is allowed to progress without disturbance, succession is allowed to progress without disturbance, a stage is reached where no more improvement is possible in the soil and vegetation. soil and vegetation. At that stage, the vegetation is in equilibrium. The vegetation is in equilibrium with the environment, and stays unchanged indefinitely, stays unchanged indefinitely by reproducing itself, by reproducing itself. Thus climax is the culmination stage in a plant succession for a given environment. Yeah. Example, right? Forests, deserts, coral reefs and grasslands. Okay. Grasslands ali put a dash or bracket and write this climax is limited by factors. This climax is limited by factors which do not let the grasses replaced by trees. Do not let grasses replaced by trees. Stop. What are those factors? Which are fire, low rainfall and grazing animals. Okay. Fire, low rainfall, grazing animals. Let's start hakondo. UPSC 2013, UPSC 2021. 2 times they have just asked questions from this. Okay. Same concept twice. Okay. That's about climax. Okay. So now we will move on to the next level of ecological studies, which is ecosystem ecology. Okay. So we have started with population. Population is a group of individuals belonging to same species, interacting, interpreting with each other. The next level of ecology is community ecology, a group of different populations, different species put together, interacting with each other. Now, the next level above community is ecosystem. What is ecosystem? Different communities interacting. What is the difference? Different communities have different populations, another community, different population. Then that becomes a bigger community with more number of species. Now, in ecosystem, we'll also consider the abiotic factors. Initially, it was only biotic factors. Ecosystem is a very loose unit. It's a dynamic system, okay, where the biotic components of a particular geographical area are interacting with the abiotic components. We are considering even the abiotic factors. See, I am here, okay, so I am interacting with both biotic factors. I am talking to you, and I am interacting with the nature. I am breathing air, abiotic factor. I am able to see you, light, abiotic factor. Temperature is high, sweating is coming, temperature is influencing me. So, when an individual interacts with both the biotic and abiotic factors, okay, that entire biotic and abiotic thing put together is called as ecosystem. It contains both the biotic and abiotic factors. Yeah, that is what is an ecosystem. What is the definition of ecosystem? It is a natural assemblage of organisms living together with the environment. It's an assembly of both biotic and abiotic factors which are interacting with each other. Okay, why definition is important is because of UPSC Prelims 2015 ಅಲ್ಲಿ, not any state prelims, it's a UPSC question. This is a question of 2015. See the definition. Which one of the following is the best description of the term ecosystem? A community of organisms interacting with each other. Enidu, first one. But what is the answer for the first option? It's a wrong answer, right? But what is the meaning of this? It's a community ecosystem. Simple. Different species interacting with each other. Second, that part of the earth which is inhabited by living organisms. Yes or no? What is it actually? Habitat. Okay. Biosphere. Biosphere is that part of the earth where living organisms exist. A community of organisms together with their environment which they live. Ecosystem. That is the definition of ecosystem. C is the answer. What is the fourth one? Biodiversity. Simple. This is biodiversity, this is biosphere, this is community, this is ecosystem. So definitions are important. UPSC prelims ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. That is the reason why every topic we are starting with a definition. Alva? Right? So we'll go back. We'll start this with the thing. So what is ecosystem? It is a natural assemblage of living and non-living things. Natural assemblage of plants and animals along with their environment, physical environment. Okay. So write down, ecosystem is a naturally occurring assemblage of naturally occurring assemblage of organisms plants, animals and other organisms, anything which is living. Other organisms living together with their living together with their environment, living together with their environment and functioning as a loose unit. As a loose unit. Stop. Next line. It is a relatively self-contained dynamic system self-contained dynamic system self-contained dynamic system composed of natural communities composed of natural communities or biotic bracket right biotic along with its physical environment. Abiotic. Yeah. So they are interacting with each other, right? So this is how an ecosystem looks like. So if you take an ecosystem in this, you can find trees living, the rabbit living, the plants in the water living, then other plants living, then abiotic soil, water, sunlight, air, everything is interacting with each other, right? That is what is an ecosystem, right? So now we'll see some of the concepts in ecosystem. Before that, answer this question. UPSC Prelims 2013. ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಓದಿದ್ದು? ಯಾವ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ? 5ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಾ? 6th? 6th ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ? ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿತ್ತಾನೆ, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾದೇಶಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿರಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ 5th 6th ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಯಾವುದು ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಓದಿರಿ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಓದಿರಿ, ICPS, ASCB, NCERT, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್, ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕೋಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್? With reference to food chain and ecosystem, consider the following statements. A food chain illustrates the order in which a chain of organisms feed upon each other. Okay. Food chains are found within the population of a species. The food chain illustrates the number of each organisms which are eaten by others. Which of the following is correct? Simple food chain budget question. UPSC 2013 prelims. Who says A? Okay. B. ನಾವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ವಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಪೂಜೆ ಅವತ್ತು ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಈಗಲೂ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗೇನು ನಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಳಿದು ಬಂದು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಎತ್ತಿಯಾರ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಕೈನ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತೀವಿ ಹೂ ಸೇಸ್ ಎ ಒನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಓಕೆ ಬಿ ಸಿ ಯಾರು ಬಿನ ಸಿನ ಬಿ ಓಕೆ ಸಿ ಡಿ ಯಾರಿಲ್ವಾ ಓಕೆ ಸಿ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಕೇಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ್ದು ತಪ್ಪು ಯಾಕೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಬಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಮೂರನೇ ತಪ್ಪು ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಒನ್ ವೈ is wrong yeah that's what I was asking okay 3 why is wrong if you have not heard then it is not true yeah because you have heard everything but that is true whatever you are saying that is true so the answer is one only so this is the right answer this is wrong because in a food chain we talk about different species if same species comes that becomes cannibalism we say grass grasshopper frog snake eagle all of them are different species snake eating a snake doesn't come under food chain so there is no within the population that's a cannibalism thing is the unnatural different thing not unnatural but yeah it's not a part of food chain second when you are talking about food chain it illustrates just the species when you say grass is eaten by grasshopper we don't talk about how many grasses are eaten by how many grasshoppers we don't talk about numbers we talk about numbers in the next concept which is coming called as ecological pyramids only pyramid of number there we talk about number only in pyramid of numbers we talk about how many species eating by how many number of other species so this is also wrong okay so that is the thing right see basically you know food chain but concepts is where the questions are coming from little bit depth that's it tumba jasti deep hogodu bed no food chain okay so food chain is a concept where the eaters are eaten the person who eats another animal will be eaten by some other animal and that animal is again in order eaten by other animals right so that is a concept it's a sequence of population or an organism in which one organism becomes the source of food and energy for other organism of other species okay so it is a system through which the food and energy passes from one species to another species or one organism to another organism of a different species it's a concept of eaters being eaten that's it simple that's what is food chain so you eating chitrana okay the energy came to you you are being eaten by a tiger again that is passed by from you to the tiger okay adಎಷ್ಟು pass ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಏನು we'll discuss so write down this small heading why humans tiger ತಿನ್ನಲ್ವಾ it's a sequence of population of organisms it is a sequence of population or organisms of an ecosystem through which food and energy passes. Through which food and energy passes. Stop. It is a sequence of eaters being eaten. It's a sequence of eaters being eaten. Sequence of eaters being eaten. Okay. Now, what are the different kinds of food chain? The food chain which starts with dead organic matter is, okay, A error is there, B, okay, good, C, D. Tell me what is grazing food chain? Starts from grasses, producers, detritus, that from dead, parasites, starts what? Starts parasites. Parasites in nano, who eats the parasites? It starts with producers. It starts with dead organic matter. It starts with a host, not parasites. Host male parasites kudirtave. Okay. So how many types of food chains are there? School al onde ondu odidalva, grassland ondu. Now there is two more. I say there is one more. What is the fourth? There are four types of food chain. What is the fourth one? Related. What is global food chain? There is nothing called global food chain. Okay. Aquatic, yeah. Marine food chain. So write down, there are four types of food chain. Grazing food chain, detritus food chain, parasitic food chain, and aquatic or marine food chain. Grazing, detritus, parasitic, and global. So the answer for this is okay. First we'll start with parasitic food chain. parasitic food chain is also known as auxiliary food chain. Also known as auxiliary food chain. Okay. So usually parasitic food chain starts with the host and ends with the parasite. Okay. So the food and energy passes from the host to parasite, or the bigger organism to smaller organism. So the bigger organism is a source of food and energy for smaller organism. Example? Tapeworm. Sequentially, starting with the host. Start with the host. Huh? Humans intestinally, tapeworm, and the tapeworm mele may be some bacteria. Alva? This is a host, this is a parasite. This may also be host for another parasite. Hyperparasite antar idna. Okay, parasite on a parasite. We use this technique to kill most of the insects. ನಮ್ಮ ತೋಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಳಗಳೇನಾದ್ರು ಆದಾಗ we have a biological control method where we release some virus or bacteria in the field so that these virus and bacteria goes and kills the host. Okay, so they kill the host, and it's like enemy's enemy is a friend, right? We use a lot of microorganisms to eradicate the pests in the agriculture fields. So this is the thing. There can be zebra, and on that zebra there can be a tick. Okay, on tick there can be a bacteria, and on bacteria there can be a virus. Okay, you know virus infects bacteria? No idea. Virus infects bacteria. 2 times in UPSC they have asked this. Which of the following can be infected by a virus? Bacteria, fungus, plants is a UPSC question. Okay. And this year, virus is the one which have saved a lot of humans during one of the incidents which happened last year. Iday time alli nadita ittu 1 year back. What was happening in India at this point of time last year? Corona 2019, 2021. Either time 2025 January, February. Kashi, one of the largest human gathering on the planet till in the human history. Okay, Kumbh Mela nadita ittu Prayagrajali, right? So in the Kumbh Mela, how many crore people went and took dip in Ganga? Okay, alli yaru hogidra? You went. Okay, and there was an announcement being made. Have you heard that announcement? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಇದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನ, ಕೋಟ್ಯಾಂತರ ಜನ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದೇ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಬಾತ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ nobody is getting infected. ಯಾರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದೇನೋ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್? ಒನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ರಿವರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಫ್ಲೋಯಿಂಗ್, ತುಂಬ ಸ್ಲೋ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ವೆಂಟ್ ದೇರ್. ನೀರು ತುಂಬ ರಭಸವಾಗಿ ಹರಿತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. Have you gone to Haridwar, Rishikesh? What is the speed of the river? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಸಖತ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಿಂದ ನಡೀತಿತ್ತು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ diving into the plains from the hilly area. But here, the speed, the velocity has, slowed down. Slowly the river will be moving. That's one thing. But still, there are chances that the bacteria might there, because they are putting garlands, they are putting, adu idu puja samano, cloths, so many things are putting there. Yes, to infection involved. Lot of bacteria, thousands of bacteria would be present, and it would infect. But what was the solution? How it was avoided? It was avoided because the authorities there were releasing a virus into that water which kills the bacteria, and the name of that virus is bacteriophage. What is bacteriophage? Bacteriophage is the name of the virus which kills bacteria. Okay, thousands of bacteria, lakhs of bacteriophage were released, pumped in, so that they kill that bacteria and clean the water. ಅದನ್ನ ಮೈಕಲ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ. If you had listened to the thing, okay, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳಿರ್ತವೆ, ಕೋಯಪಾಯ ಕೇಂದ್ರ. ಕೋಯಪಾಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರು ಕಳೆದೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಕಳೆದೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಈ ಥರ ಯಾರೋ ಕಳೆದೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ. ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ये पानी साफ है, हम लोग बैक्टीरियोफेज यूज कर रहे हैं, so we've been testing it so many times, it is clean for taking bath. ಅದನ್ನು ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವೈರಸ್ ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ, ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ. ಅದು ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸಿಟಿಕ್ ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್. No, it doesn't. Okay, they have been designed, genetically modified to infect only that bacteria, very specific. It won't infect us. Okay. Okay. This is the thing. Example. There is zebra. Zebra ಒಳಗಡೆ there are nematodes. Nematodes ಮೇಲೆ there are bacteria. Bacteria ಮೇಲೆ there are virus. So that is what is parasitic food chain. All right. So write down this. Parasitic food chains or auxiliary food chains. Parasitic or auxiliary food chain. It begins with a host. Begins with the host and ends with a parasite. Ends with a parasite. Here the larger organisms are a source of energy for smaller organisms. Source of energy for smaller organisms. Okay. Example, you can write this. Zebra, ticks, bacteria, virus. Taxpayers and the government. Huh? taxpayers and the government. Okay, politicians. Sorry, please edit this. Some politicians, not all. Okay. Huh? This is going live, buddy. Okay. Okay. Next, detritus food chain. So what is detritus food chain? Here the food and energy passes from dead organic matter are called as detritus. Okay, and it passes to detrivorous animals. The animals which feed on dead organic matter, and then these detrivorous animals are eaten by some carnivore and then top carnivore. Okay. So the food and energy passes through thing. It starts with detritus. Start with dead organic matter. Okay, the animals which feed on dead organic matter are called as detrivorous animals. Okay, all right. Can you give some examples? Yellow fungus. Who started with dead organic matter? Fungus is detritus. Okay, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Fungus feeds on dead plants, and fungus is the fungus will be eaten by some insects, then some birds. Organic matter, earthworm, earthworm ಏನು ತಿಂತವೆ? Dead organic matter, dead leaves, dead animals. And earthworm ಏನು ತಿಂತವೆ? ಕೋಳಿ ತಿಂತವಲ್ವಾ? ಕೋಳಿನ ಯಾರು ತಿಂತವೆ? Okay, or earthworms are eaten by, you know, birds. Birds are eaten by larger birds. Okay. Now this category na, the detritus animals. ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ there are some categories. What are the animals? We have seen this question as well. Okay. So write down this detritus. It's a food chain in which the food and energy passes from dead organic matter or detritus to detrivorous animals. Which feed on detritus which are consumed by small carnivores, which are then consumed by large carnivores. Okay. Now, give some examples of dead organic matter. I give an earthquake, earthworm. Other than this, what are the different things? What is this? Earthworm. And this is, what is this? Crow. Crow ತಗೊಂತ ಇದೆಯಾ? Crow ನಾಲ್ಕು ಕಾಲು ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ ಈ ಥರ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಕಾಲು ಇರೋ ಕಾಗೆ? ಇದು ಕ್ರೋ. ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಡೆಡ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್, ವುಡ್ ಲೌಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವುಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡೆಡ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡೋಂಥ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್. Eaten by blackbird. This blackbird is again eaten by, okay, some eagle, or it is eaten by some big cats. Okay. Which cat eats birds by jumping? Jump ಮಾಡಿ catch ಮಾಡಿ eat. Leopard. Have you heard of fishing cat? West Bengal state animal ಯಾವುದು? Bengal tiger. Hey, Bengal tiger is national animal of India. Bengal tiger, Bengal state animal. Nodi, which is the state animal of Bengal? Then comes the question, which is the state animal of Karnataka? Fishing cat is a state animal of West Bengal. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಫಿಶಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಅದು ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್. ಕೆಲವು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈನೂ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ಡ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈ. ಯಾವುದು? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈ ಆಫ್ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ. ನ್ಯೂಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತಿದ್ದು. These are all the things. Current affairs ಅಂದರೆ, if you are doing for UPSC, you should be careful about all the states. The fishing cat is a small cat which catches fishes and even birds and eats. Okay, write examples. This is organic matter. Earthworm. And this organism is called as mole. Mole in a hole ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ? ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಭೂಮಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ಎ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟನಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಮೋಲ್ ಅಂತ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕಲರ್. ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ಹೆಗ್ಣ. ಹೆಗ್ಣ ಅಲ್ಲರಿ, ಹೆಗ್ಣ ಇಲಿ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್. ಮೋಲ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ? ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? Write examples ಬರೀರಿ. Okay. Now comes the question. UPSC 2021. Which of the following are detrivorous? UPSC 2020 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯೋರೆಲ್ಲ ಪುಚ್ಚೆನೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಓದ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ 5ನೇ 6ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ಓದಿ ಮುಗಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. They're asking from question from food chain, not very so long, ಈಗ 4 years back, 2021 ಅಲ್ಲಿ, it's a recent one. Which of the following is detrivorous? First of all, detrivorous ಅಂತ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಡಮಾರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. You should know what is detrivorous. That knowledge, most of them will get detrivorous ಅಂದ್ರೆ animals which feed on dead organic matter. Then you should know the list of animals which feeds on dead organic matter. Okay. Earthworm, jellyfish, millipede, seahorse, woodlice. What is the correct sequence? Who says A? 1, 2 and 4. B? C? Okay. D? So the answer is C, right? So earthworm is detrivorous, millipedes are detrivorous and woodlice. Seahorses and jellyfish are consumers. They feed on living thing. Jellyfish ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ 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 it engulfs. Seahorse, ಹಾರ್ಸ್ ತರ ಮುಖ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬರೀ ಮುಖದ. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ seahorse? ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಹತ್ತಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ನಿಂತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಫಿಶ್, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಫಿಶ್ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಕಚಕ್ ಅಂತ. It feeds living organisms. So this is the answer. So question ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, so we should know some of the things. List of detrivorous animals. These are the ones. Millipedes, ಏನಂತಾರೆ, ಸಹಸ್ರ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಏನೋ ಇದೆ ಹುಳುಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್. ಹಾಂ, ಸಾವಿರ ಕಾಲಿನ ಹುಳು, ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಹೆಸರೇನು? ಸೆಂಟಿಪೀಡ್. Centi is like hundreds of legs. Millipede. Okay. Woodlice. Woodlice ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು, it feeds on wood. Then dung beetle. Cow dung beetle. ಇದು ಮೂರನೇ ಸರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಿರೋದು. We have studied about cow dung beetle in 2 places before. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ? Commensalism or commensalism? Commensalism. What is the symbol? Plus and 0. Commensalism. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ. ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋತ ಏನೋ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ? ಖಂಡಿತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರ. ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ವಾ? ಈ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ನಿಶ್. ನಿಶ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಟ್, ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ನಿಶ್ ನಾ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್? ಇಲ್ಲಿ niche, ecological niche. Okay, so there we discussed about this animal. Okay, then write down henge one more na barkali. So because that is a question from 2021, so write down this, few animals. Earthworm, dung beetle, this is cushion star, again a detrivorous animal. Sea cucumber, this one, sea cucumber. So it looks like a cucumber, completely green in color, aquatic animal. This is fiddler crabs. So this is fiddler crab. Then this is squat lobster. Okay, this is a lobster. Brown fly larvae. Garden snail. Snail is also a detrivorous animal. It feeds on dead garden remains, all the leaves, fruits which falls in the garden is eaten by snails. Snails on controversy. What do you remember when you uh, hear about snails? Snails not again. What is the characteristics? Very slow. Recently, few years back, uh, the government was coming with the new edition of school books. Otherly, on the polity book, they wanted to depict the formation, the framing of constitution. So for designing that, they had taken a help of a artist, some famous artist. So that artist, whatever he perceived by the process of forming the constitution. So formation of constitution, constitutional drafting, ಯಾವಾಗ ಶುರು ಆಯಿತು? When was this all the constitutional drafting committee was framed? As the chairman Ambedkar, well, there were so many committees with different chairmen are there. In Lakshmikant first lesson the framing of the constitution 46 and it ended in 1950. 4 years to write a book. So he put a snail, and the snail, everybody was sitting, the constitutional drafting committee was sitting on that snail and then traveling. Led by Ambedkar and all, our diagram bardidan. And that was really true. It was a very, very slow process, formation of constitution. Adikke tumba jana got furious that you are doing this and kallella hodidru manage papa. Artist manage. And that was in news, a controversial thing has happened. Okay. So that's the thing. Then termites, ಗೆದ್ಲುಳ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, white ants, termites. So corona time ali, many of the aspirants lost their books because of this. They had eaten the entire book, textbooks katha mugsa. So if you don't attend anything, like small termites comes from somewhere and it eats up the entire thing. Yeah. So termites ಜೊತೆ ನನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಎನಿಮಿಟಿನೇ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೋನಾದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಂದಾಯ್ತು. Even in my MSc in Tamil Nadu, for my birthday, my roommate had given me a gift. It's a bonsai. Okay. So bonsai, a pot and a small, plant. It used to flower once in a year, white flower. So his name is Gautam Jambulkar, Gomsian. So he had given me a birthday gift. So I was like very much into agriculture. So I thought this plant needs nutrition. So I took out the plant and I replaced with the soil from the field in which I was doing my research. Nande, my own field, I had planted crops there, agriculture sciences. So I took that thing and I came and I replaced it. Now because I was adding so much of nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients for the growth of plants, I thought even my plant in my room will also grow very well. I did not know I was bringing termites along with that soil. These termites ate the entire plant from inside. Pargade a wrapper paper ತರ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇತ್ತು. Nothing was in it. I was saying why it is not growing, why it's becoming dry, it's putting water. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂಚೂರು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ತಿಂದಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರೀ ರ್ಯಾಪರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ that's termites. Okay, white ants. Then earthworms, Madagascar hissing cockroach, okay, springtail and black slug. These are the detrivorous animals. Okay. Now grazing food chain, third one. So grazing food chain, it's also called as predator food chain. Predator food chain. It starts with producers and the food and energy passes from producers to herbivores, then to primary carnivores, to secondary carnivores, and to tertiary carnivores. Okay. So that is the thing. This is a very common kind of chain which we all know. So give some examples. Grass, grasshopper, grasshopper na snake. Okay, then this was a picture came in National Geographic. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತೀರ? ಕೋಡಗನ ಕೋಳಿ ನುಂಗಿತ್ತ. Honestly, this is a real picture. National Geographic channel ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. Okay, it's not Photoshop. It's a big, really. ಹಂಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಲ್ವಂತ ಬೇಡ ಹಿಂಗಾರು. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಹಾವು? This is snake and this is a frog. Okay, this is what usually should be happening, but you know. So be careful with this example because ಕಲಿಗಾಲ ಬಂತು. ಹಾವು ಕಪ್ಪೆ ತಿಂತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಪ್ಪೆನಿಗೆ ಹಾವು ತಿಂತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಾರಿ, ಹಾವು ಕಪ್ಪೆ ತಿಂತಿಲ್ಲ. What is we don't mind the size, but still the food chain is reversing, right? Okay, so ಇದೇ ವಿಚಾರನ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಶ್ನಾಳ್ ಶರೀಫ್ರು ಭಾಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಡು ಆನೆಯ ನುಂಗಿ. All right, so that's the thing. Write down the examples. Write down grazing food chain, also known as predator food chain. It consists of producers, herbivores, and carnivores. Okay. Consists of producers, herbivores, and carnivores. It starts with producers. Food chain is formed such that the animal which feeds on the plant or other animal is in turn food for some other animal. ಯಾವ animal plant ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತೋ ಯಾವ animal ಬೇರೆ animal ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತೋ that is food for another animal. Okay, so that is grazing food chain, right? So example, you can write this: grass, grasshopper, frog, snake and eagle. Okay, or simply plant rabbit, rabbit is eaten by fox, tiger. Okay, so that is the third food chain. The last food chain is, see, this is the thing: flower, caterpillar, frog, snake, all this. These are the grazing food chains. Now, the second question from 2021 prelims. 2021 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಫುಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಇಂದ 2 ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು. So understand UPSC. They are asking 2 questions from just one topic, single topic. Okay, food chain ಇಂದ 2 ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಿಂಪಲ್, ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. Consider the following organisms. They have given a list of organisms. Which of the above are primary producers in the food chain of an ocean? Aquatic food chain ಅಲ್ಲಿ producers ಯಾರು? Who are the producers? Okay, copepods, cyanobacteria, diatoms, foraminifera. Producers are those. Aquatically, it starts with producers, sir. Primary producers. Which of the following are primary producers? Who is A, B, C, D? Okay, why B? Definitely cyanobacteria is and when you say algae, it is basically algae are plants and plants are producers. So definitely 2 is an option. So this and this got eliminated. Okay. Now coming to this 50% nimatra option is it may be 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. So the answer for this is diatoms. Diatoms are also the producers. Copepods andre copepods are crustaceans. ಈ ಸೀಗಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. They are primary consumers. They are herbivorous animals which feed on blue green algae or other plants or kelp or others. Okay. Foraminifera, it is also kind of organism which is a single celled organism, just like amoeba. Amoeba iruttala, it's a single celled organism. It's called armored amoeba. So we have a name for this. Armored amoeba. It has a tiny shell around it. So that's why you call it as armored amoeba. So it comes under kingdom protista. Okay. So we will come to know. Link when you study biology, you link all these things in your classification. Okay. So this is the answer. So this question bandide antandre, what is our responsibility? We should at least know which of the following are the producers, which of the following are consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. So that is the thing. The next and the last food chain is ocean food chain. Ocean food chain is very, very complicated. Okay, so ocean food chain is a very complicated food chain. We have so many interconnections. Usually land only, when we start with plant is eaten by some insect, plant is eaten by some bigger carnivore, some larger carnivore, 4-5 connections barutte. But oceans only, there are so many organisms. Say there is a ocean aquatic plant eaten by some small insect, that insect eaten by some very small fish, eaten by some little more big fish, little more big fish, big fish, big fish, big fish. The big fish admele, maybe there is a shark. So this is a very huge connection. And every fish eats other fish. Right? So it's a very, very complex interconnections. And here we don't call the organisms are herbivorous or carnivorous. We call simply the animals which feed on the producers. There are primary producers. Yeah. And they're eaten by primary consumers. And in land terrestrial ecosystem, we call these primary consumers as herbivorous animals. Here we call them as plant eaters. Okay. Then after this, there are so many secondary or tertiary or quaternary consumers, and all of them we call it as meat eaters. We call them as meat eaters, not carnivores, aquatic ecosystem. So this is the oceanic food chain, and this is how it looks like. There are producers eaten by crustaceans, eaten by fish, then dolphin, then killer whale. So you have dinoflagellates, copepods. This is how copepod looks like. Very small kind of organisms. Sunfish, small shark, large shark. Okay, that is how it goes. So that is marine ecosystem. So write down, the marine ecosystem is made up of a complicated series of interconnected energy producers like plants. We also call it as phytoplanktons. Plants or phytoplanktons. Phyto is plant. Planktons. And consumers. From plant eaters to meat eaters. Both small and great. Okay. So it can be very, very small fish to killer whale. Okay, whale fish, bigger fish. Okay, both small and great. Right? Those are fungus. That is parasitic food chain. Those fungus will grow on the body of these, fishes, and they keep on extracting the nutrition from them slowly. Fishes don't have hands; they are modified into the wings. Okay, limbs, not limbs. They call it as wings, basically. Fins. Okay, that fin is used for swimming. They cannot take it out, so that's why people go and eat that. That's basically a parasite. Okay. So write, some names. Primary producers. Primary producers. Example. So cyanobacteria, kelp, some simple algae, dino, flagellates, diatoms, lichens sometimes, mosses, etc. Primary consumers, coffee pots. So if I write one more thing, physics related, though, what is the other thing which you want to write down? Kelp again? Because we have discussed this example, and that's why I remember. Kelp ನೇನು ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತೆ? Exactly. Okay, very good. Sea urchins. Okay. Discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ keystone species. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಸೇರಿ ಬರಿಬೋದು. Sea otter ಅಲ್ವಾ? Periwinkle, micro zooplanktons, other crustaceans, small fish, secondary consumer, sea otter, okay. Comb jellies, jellyfish, seahorse. Seahorse jellyfish question ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, they eat on other organisms. I have a ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಡೈಟಮ್ಸ್, ಶ್ರಿಂಪ್ ಇದೆ, ಟೆರಾಪಾಡ್ಸ್, ಲ್ಯಾಂಟನ್ ಫಿಶ್, ಸ್ಕ್ವಿಡ್, ಟ್ಯೂನಾ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ you can add shrimp. Lantern fish, tuna fish, tertiary consumers. What all you can write? Shark, then dolphins, okay. Killer whales, polar bear, what? Polar bears, they eat fish. Okay, they mainly survive on fishes. Seeds. So this is the thing. When you keep on watching National Geographic ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Like this is unending. The ocean is very, very complex. Okay. So this is the thing. This is an open end this thing. Answer this question. Only 10% of the energy is transferred from each tropic level from the lower tropic level. Tropic level ಅಂದ್ರೆ food chain ನ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಲೆವೆಲ್ ನ ಟ್ರಾಪಿಕ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Grass, one tropic level, grasshopper another. Okay. So they are saying when the energy is transferred from one tropic level to another, only 10% goes into. Flow of energy takes place in both the direction in food chain. Natural interconnection of food chain makes it a food web. Who says A? B? C? D? Okay. The answer is D. So this is right. Only 10% of energy is transferred from each tropic level to another tropic level. If grasses 100% energy produced madidre, only 10% goes to the grasshopper. What happens to remaining 90%? It is utilized for its growth and development, for photosynthesis, for respiration, for many other things, for all the activities. If ನೀವೇ ಒಂದು, for example, if you eat, say, a burger, 100 kilocalories. So 100 kilocalories went into your body and immediately a tiger attacked you. ಅದು ಓಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಯು ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಟು ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಆ 100 ಕ್ಯಾಲರೀಸಿಂದ ಖರ್ಚಾಗಬೇಕಲ್ವ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆರ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಅದರ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್. ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಖರ್ಚಾಗಿ When tiger eats, only the 10% of that burger, 10 kilocalories is what goes to the tiger. Okay. So, but how can you survive with only 10%? If the amount of energy produced in the grains is 100%, when you eat one chapati, only 10% of the energy from that will come to you. But how will you survive only with 10%? You eat more chapatis. Yes, of course, you get it from others. So a frog gets only 10% of energy from grasshopper. But frog doesn't eat one grasshopper, it eats 10 grasshoppers. So it fulfills its energy requirement by eating more number of animals. Okay, so only 10%, this is true. The energy flow takes place in both directions. No. When a snake eats a frog, now more number of frogs. And the energy goes from frog to snake, not from snake to frog. And when an eagle eats a snake, the energy goes from snake to eagle. It's never from eagle to snake. Okay. So this is wrong. The natural interconnection of food chain makes it a food web. Okay. So that is the thing. Alright. So food web is what actually happens in nature. Food chain andre, see, if frog doesn't get grasshopper, it doesn't go hungry and die. It feeds on butterflies. If a snake doesn't get frog, it will eat rats. It will eat some other insect. So it's always option. In Sundarbans, if a tiger doesn't get a hunt or if it doesn't get a prey, it even feeds on fishes. It eats fish. In Sundarbans, tiger eats fishes. So it's actually food web which is there. Okay, we'll stop here, and in the next class we'll continue with we'll start with food web. There's food web, ecological pyramids, and types of ecosystems. With that, ecosystem ecology is complete. Okay, then there are biomes and biosphere, and with that, ecology is done. Okay, so don't ever look back, or no other material is required other than this in the entire ecology. Don't read anything. Okay, this will suffice. Nothing will come outside this. All right. So, all right, let's stop here.